My name is Eric McLeod. I am here with my partner in podcasting, Mr. Scott Stewart, aka Big Stu. We are the Money Sex Gen X podcast. Today, we are talking to you about how to use Chat GPT to control our finances. And I want to set this off because Big Stu is definitely one of the people that I lean on in this area. I want to ask you, Big Stu, what is Chat GPT?
That's a great question. That's a great question. Good morning, everyone. Hello, everyone from around the world. So, ChatGPT, as I best understand it, is an artificial intelligence language model that is designed to generate human like text. And if we just unpack that for a second, it's artificial, which means not real, intelligence. And the beauty of it is it will give you, based on your input, an output that is hard to determine whether it was written by a computer program or written by a human. In essence, that is what ChatGPT is.
Okay, I like that. I like that. Now I'm going to read some little definition that I got online. It's not going to be as good as yours, but it says it has some of the elements that you just said. So it's AI, right? We're talking about using a computer to have conversations with people. Now, the thing is, it's like, and I want to get your feedback on this. I believe that one of the biggest benefits of Chat GPT is that if I want an answer for something, I can put it into Chat GPT as a prompt, and we're going to talk about what a prompt is in a second. And I can get the answer without having to dance around a bunch of websites, a bunch of different search results in Google. Am I understanding that right?
For the most part. But I've
Okay.
definitely warned people not to use ChatGPT as a research tool.
Mm,
That is not the intention of ChatGPT at all. You
okay.
still need to go pull your research from wherever you normally will pull research from. But if you have a hard time communicating something, thinking of an idea of something or how to properly write something, say something, ChatGPT is a wonderful tool for helping people like that.
Okay, I love it. So, so let me also get your feedback on this. Aside from answering questions, which we have to remember Stu's caveat, don't use it for research, but people are using this thing to write social media content, simplify complex ideas, write jokes, language translation. I don't know if I've thought a lot about that, but people are using it for that. Drafting essays, lesson plans for digital courses, drafting CVs, writing code, and creating quizzes.
Yeah. Can you hear me still?
Yes, I can still hear you.
Word, I know my camera went away. I'll work on that. But yes,
Okay.
yes. All of those things, absolutely correct.
Okay, cool. So, and I'm using it for some of these things as well. I'm new to it, but I'm using it. I've definitely used it to write social media content. I'm not using it to write the whole post, but sometimes I use it to get ideas. Definitely using it for lesson plans. I'd love to use it to write code. I'm interested in that. But the main thing about Chat GPT that I found out is it's all about how you input the prompt. And
Yeah.
so I want to talk to you about that. Now, here's my definition about a prompt. It's basically like these are the instructions that you're giving the AI to get your response,
Yeah.
right? So we got to ask the right. So a prompt is just a question.
Yeah.
So you got to ask the right question to get the right answer, right?
And I would, so yes. But I don't ask ChatGPT to do a thing
Hmm.
based on the definition of a prompt, or I command it to do a thing. That's
Okay.
how it's designed. It's designed as a tool to be told what to do. This thing
Okay.
does you have to be nice to it. You don't
Right.
have to, it's not a human. It's not like, hey, can you create? No, no, no. It's a tool. Generate, create, list, make a list, improve. You tell it what to do. You're the human in control of that box, those bits and those bytes. You're prompting it, you're commanding it to do a thing for you.
Love that. You hear Big Stu, he said, you don't have to be nice, no flowery language, just tell it what to do. This is where, if you are not the boss in a lot of areas in your life, you can be the boss with Chat GPT. Just tell it what you want
Absolutely.
it to do, and you'll get your response. Now,
Absolutely.
I would want to make sure we solve a problem for the viewers today or the listeners. So we're giving you this background because we're trying to get to, okay, cool, I get what Chat GPT is. How do I use it to manage and control my financial situation?
Yeah.
Right. And so
Yeah.
I definitely want to get Stu's feedback. I'm going to add a little bit of my own. But the first area that I see is how you can use this thing is I like to use it to get more financially literate. So
Yeah.
to increase my financial literacy. So I do not think this is a replacement for working with a financial professional and all of that. But I think it's good to get answers to questions. And I'll give you a question that I asked it recently to see what it said. And that question, Stu, was what is student loan forgiveness? What is student loan forgiveness, which is a big topic. I actually was able to eliminate $154,000 worth of student loan debt recently.
Yeah.
And part of that was it was eliminated through forgiveness. And I'm going to do an episode about that, about how to make sure you can get in position for that. But when I put that into Chat GPT, I got a really nice answer, very organized about what student loan forgiveness is.
Yeah.
How have you used it for financial literacy, or have you?
I haven't. I've been so focused on using it how I use it. That's why I was so intrigued and excited when I saw your topic for this.
Mhm.
Um, because I think it's a wonderful tool to use to better understand where you are on your financial journey and how you can get in front of it if that's what you need to do.
Right.
And so, no, I haven't, but I think it makes perfect sense. One of the things that I would um, recommend to novice users is to think about uh, putting it in terms that if you understand how you learn best, when you prompt the technology to give you this particular output, you can tell it to do it in whatever format that makes sense for you. So, for example, explain student loan forgiveness to me in the form of a rap.
Nice.
Explain student loan forgiveness to me in the form of a poem. In
Yeah.
a Explain student loan forgiveness in the form of a prayer. It's
Mm,
however you want to receive it that you'll best remember it, understand it, comprehend it. You can also do that as well.
I like that because, yeah, everybody has their own learning style. And yeah, we can get creative. Like if you learn best through songs, that's cool. And I like that. And I want to make sure that we're hitting on this too. Here's where I would start with Chat GPT also. As things come up in your everyday life, like say somebody's like, how do I improve my credit score? You could go to Chat GPT, and you don't have to be at a loss anymore. You can go to Chat GPT and say, tell me how my credit score is calculated. And it's
Yeah.
going to spit to you the actual formula of how a credit score is calculated. And I've done all the things that I'm talking about, so I know it's accurate. You might say, hey, you know what? I want to know more about, and I'm going to talk more about this, but how do I invest in Africa?
Yeah.
Tell me how to invest in Africa. And I put that in this morning, and I got a really nice list breaking down the different ways that I can invest in Africa. So, in addition to just literacy, you can use it kind of for like investment guidance in the sense of getting information about a topic.
And I would even add, uh, tell me how, create a list, right? Create a list of ways to improve my credit score with an annual income or monthly income of, and when my expenses are, you fill in those blanks. Like you can get really, really, specific. Tell me how to improve my credit score with my income is $2,000 a month and my bills are $1,500 a month, while leaving me $100 a month for play money. You can type and it will get that complex for you. So the more specific, and I think this is, you're going to hit on this, and if you already have, the more specific you can be to how it applies to you, the user, then that provides a great uniqueness to how you are able to apply your output to your circumstance.
Such a great point, Stu, because I mean, that's the difference between just putting something into a Google search, right? You can't really get that. You could put that in a Google search, but you're not going to get the same response that you would get in Chat GPT. Like you could say, hey, I have a credit card with a 29% interest rate. I have a $5,000 balance. Tell me how long it will take for that debt to double.
Yeah.
And you're going to get a response back by being specific like that.
And you can even say, for example, write an email to the credit card company requesting a alternative finance charge, and maybe even be specific to put in the percentage that you would like, and let it draft that email for you. Continue to iterate it until it's like on point to exactly what you want it to be, and use that to renegotiate your interest rate.
I like that. And I've actually used this. So for disputing items on credit report, you
Yeah.
can say, I'm going, you can phrase it, tell me how to dispute this charge that's on my credit report that is not showing up on all three credit bureaus.
Yes.
And you will get a nice response. You might have to tweak it a little bit that you can cut and paste into the credit bureau portal that you're dealing with and hit send
Yeah.
and get help you. So you definitely, I like how Stu was talking about, you can be specific, and it is something that can be an actual tool. View it as your assistant. If you
Mhm.
had an assistant on your job or in your business, how would you tell your assistant? How would you give them that prompt? You can pretty much use that same line of reasoning or thinking when using Chat GPT. Now we're talking about literacy. We're talking about investment guidance for your finances, financial planning. So some people use Chat GPT to help set financial goals, to create savings plans. And this is another area, as Stu was saying, where you can be very specific and get a plan. And also, and here's what I like the best, to get strategies to achieve the goals that you've set.
Wow.
Strategy. So how do I do it? So
Yeah.
that's another use. Personalized recommendations. So you put in information about your specific financial situation. So you might say, I make $150,000 per year. My expenses are $90,000 per year. How do you think I should go? Tell me how to go about setting up an emergency fund, and you'll get a response back that will help you down that road. Now, here's what I would suggest people do. I would not use Chat GPT as the end all be all for this financial assistance. What I would use it as a way to arm yourself with more knowledge when you go to a financial professional.
Yeah.
So now, instead of you depending on a financial professional to help you define terms and understand concepts, you can go to that professional with that information and use them more to help execute what you've already determined. What are your thoughts about that, Stu?
I think that's spot on. I've been using ChatGPT now for almost a year. I got introduced to it almost a year ago. And because of my interaction with the technology, I know that I'm a better thinker and I'm a better communicator. I'm not saying I'm the best thinker. I'm not saying I'm the best communicator, but I'm better because the technology removes the emotions out of the language, which forces me to focus on the messaging and getting to it. And so using the chat GPT with your finances to arm you, to make better financial decisions, it's a great tool to give you the confidence to speak about, articulate, understand where you are financially.
Yes. And I did a poll recently on LinkedIn, Stu, where I was asking the question basically, what's stopping you from getting control of your finances?
Hmm.
The biggest response was 40% of the people said that it was because they didn't have the financial literacy. They
Mm-hmm.
didn't have the fun. So I view Chat GPT as a way to help solve that problem because there's nothing that you couldn't ask Chat GPT in terms of financial literacy questions.
Right. Right.
You might be reading a newspaper and see the word bond, for example, which is a financial instrument, and be like, man, what is a bond?
Hmm.
And you'll get a response back, and you may not understand everything within it, but you'll get a foundation in order to move forward. Now, one thing that I put in this morning just to see what it would spit back is I said, tell me how I can invest in bonds specifically related to the city of Chicago.
Mm.
And I
That's
got
strong.
a nice list, Stu, specific to Chicago, categorized, bolded, and all of that that I could use if I wanted to go about investing in bonds specifically related to the city of Chicago. Thought that was cool.
Yeah. No, that's very cool. That's very cool. Sorry that I'm all in my face with the camera. Um,
So,
and I like because I use the technology when I teach. I'm in schools, right? And so I'm teaching fifth through uh, eighth grade, fifth through 12th graders about investing in the stocks, investing in stocks. And so I'll oftentimes take something like bonds and say, create a lesson, right? Explain or create a definition for bonds in the, so a third grader can
mhm,
understand it. And I know it's like, well, I thought you said, fifth through 12th. Yes. But if a third grader can understand it, then the novice user will be able to understand it as well. And so I don't want to assume that just because they're in 12th grade and I create, use Chat GPT to give me a definition at the grade level that they're going to get it. I want to use it at a level that's super simple, and then walk them through some of the more intricacies of the tech of that definition.
absolutely. I love that. As you were saying it, I was thinking a parent could actually use it to set up lessons for their children about money.
Absolutely. Yeah,
You know?
and you talking about using Chat GPT, for example, parents, like, I have used Chat GPT, and I don't want to deviate too much, but I've used Chat GPT to, give me strategies to make better interactions and connections with my son. And
Mhm.
there's been some dope stuff. It's like, man, it's so simple. Like, dang, I didn't think about that. And so I do it and I've done it and it's helpful. So to your point, yes, parents, you can go in there. You don't have to know this stuff. You can use the technology to help you create, like Eric is saying, strategies to introduce topics like, how do I make the connections between financial literacy and, groceries, going grocery shopping. And I know you have something there on there about creating grocery lists, right? And so how do I create a game when I take my kids to the grocery store with me? Chat GPT will create that type of stuff for you.
Right. And I send out a newsletter. I have a newsletter list called Seven. I forgot the name of my own email list, but I have an email list that goes out every Saturday called Seven Figure Saturdays.
Oh yeah.
It's really designed to do what we're talking about, financial literacy. And Stu, when I sent it out, I had some of the information we're talking about, and I want to point this out because Stu sent me a message about it. There's a difference. You got to be careful when you're using Chat GPT. So, like I was talking about, how one of the questions could be, how can I save money on grocery shopping? Which is a decent question. But one thing that Stu, and I appreciated him hitting me up, he pointed out, he said, look, that's cool, but like I want to show you the difference between if you say, how can I save money on grocery shopping versus give me a list of, give me a list, where he was talking about being very specific. I think both are useful. Sometimes you might just want a general answer, but if you want to get specific, you have to use that word list. And then he showed it to me. I wish I could put it on the screen, but it was like a list of actual ways you can save money on grocery shopping or items that you could buy. So I wanted to point that out. Use it for the general, but also remember, you also want to get very specific as it relates to the things that are coming up.
And to your point, yes, but it makes me think about, you have to know you as the user. Maybe you just need an understanding,
A
and
quick one.
so a
Yeah.
quick understanding. Maybe you need actionables,
Mhm.
tasks that you can
Yep.
actually do, incorporate, and so it may depend on your use case, right?
Yep.
So neither was need. There wasn't like, my point wasn't trying to say this is a better way, but my point was on in identifying that based on that same input, that same general input, here's what varying outputs could look like based on the same topic.
Absolutely. And that's absolutely how I took it, because it was just more about, here's a different way to prompt Chat GPT. I like the way you did it. You didn't say, oh, that was wrong. You just said, look at the difference. And so that just took me down the road of, okay, we got to be careful in terms of understanding, okay, what am I really looking for? Like Sue said, am I looking for general, or do I need a specific outline or response? Now,
And
we've
then,
talked so much about, oh, go ahead, brother.
no, 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 no.
Oh, I was just going to say, so we missed one obvious thing. It's like, if you're new and you have never used Chat GPT, where do you go to log on and start using it? Does it cost money? And I want to get Stu's response on this. I know part of it, but I need to get his response on the other part. But I'll tell you where you can go. Chat.openai.com. Chat.openai.com is where you go. Set up a free account. Now, Stu, this is what I want to ask Stu about. And I've been using a free account. I know there's a paid version of Chat GPT. Is it
Yeah.
worth exploring? And what is the difference
To me,
between free and paid?
to me, to me, it's a world of difference. Um, and I've even jokingly been concerned. It's like, man, if this goes away, I'm in trouble, right? Like, because I've become, in a way, and I don't mind saying it, I've become a little dependent on
Wow.
Chat GPT for lots of reasons.
Mhm.
I'm I get wordy. I get wordy. My thoughts ramble. My thoughts get scrambled. Uh, and so I've been using it to help me be clear and more concise in all of my communication. Also, the other difference is, from the free version, you'll get very general, you'll get super fast output, super fast, but it tends to be basic, general, that was cool, thumbs up.
Mhm.
The paid version, I can get extremely complex and specific, and then I can add, like, there are some portions on the back end where you can add in your personal preferences. So now it does feel like it's speaking directly to me. It's infusing a bit of my personality into my outputs. One of the challenges that I had in the beginning that the outputs seemed hollow. They seemed meh, just very basic. With the paid version, because there's a portion in the settings where it's like, tell us a little something about you and how you like to communicate and some of the things that are important to you. And now when I do my prompts, my personality is infused in my outputs, and now my outputs are they hit different. Um,
Man,
yeah,
I like to
yeah,
see that.
yeah.
I like to
They hit,
test
they
that
hit me.
out.
Oh man, I do some amazing stuff. I've moved from how I first started using the Chat GPT was I would prompt it, hey, what do you create, blah, blah, blah. Now I'm using it, I'm fully using it as like, I have created what I've created. And now I'm plugging it in to the Chat GPT to make it better.
I'm
And it's
gonna test.
phenomenal. It's super phenomenal. And that's why, some of my content, and I use it heavily for social media, but it has allowed me to be extremely consistent, extremely productive, efficient, and just kind of like I'm on go mode, man. I'm all over social media and various mediums because of the utilization of the paid version of ChatGPT.
So you're making me now. I probably today will go get a paid account just to test it out. I like that. I like that. And I noticed
It's
that when you sent me your example of the list for the grocery, they use your the response used your name. So
because
that
it
was
asked me, how would you like to be referred to here? And I put in casually Stu. And so, yes, I sent that to you. Hey, Stu, it pops up. And that's why it's like you're having a conversation, but don't get it twisted, right? Because I know people that are like really having conversations, but they think they're having conversations. I don't want that experience. I
sure.
have to, because that's part of the fear piece is that people think that this thing will take over. Like you cannot lose your job to Chat GPT.
Yeah.
So stop thinking you're going to lose your job to Chat GPT. But you will lose your job to people who use Chat GPT. And so I don't want to confuse it that, oh, Chat GPT is talking to me. I'm having no, 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 you're not. No, you're not. No, you're not. It's fake intelligence
Right.
designed to generate human-like text. Remember that, and you'll have, I believe, a much stronger relationship, if you will, interaction, engagement with the technology.
Yeah, that's a great point. I'm going to use that for us to kind of summarize and wrap up. So it's not human, it's human like, as Stu said. Let's keep that in mind. And as a financial professional, I would definitely say, while it can be useful and provide you with guidance, I would not substitute it for getting professional financial advice. And here's why. I'll just say this real quick. While you can get the information, some people need, and I talk about this a lot, they need guidance, accountability, and support. So some financial professionals, that's what they're there for. That's what I'm there for. I'm going to help you. So we're going to use the information to make use of it. You might need support along the way. You need somebody to say, "Hey, you said you were going to save $10,000 in your emergency fund. What happened?" Chat GPT is not going to do that. So if you need that, it's definitely not a substitute. Also, I want to just kind of summarize again, it's AI, computer program, human like responses. It's a way to get information faster. Stewart's pointed out, and I like this, be specific. Tell it what to do. Don't be passive. It's not a time to be passive aggressive. Be aggressive. Tell it what you want. Get the response back. Get some better responses back if you want to do the paid account, which I'm going to check that out. And I just want to wrap up with Stu. Stu, did you have any final thoughts about this topic?
Yeah. My big takeaway is, hey, if you're on the fence about using Chat GPT, get off the fence. Like that's it, like this is our Google moment. In the beginning, when Google came, people were apprehensive. Oh, this is going to kill libraries. this is going to kill people. It's going to make people dumber and they're lazy and not want to think. Absolutely not. I just want to say this. We need humans. Humans are smarter than Chat GPT or any artificial intelligence. Humans are smarter. The technology just helps us to get it done a bit faster and with a bit more efficiency and with a lot less emotions. But we need the humans. Do not lose that. We need humans.
True indeed. I couldn't have said it better. And that is something that I hope everybody takes heed to. And here's the Money Sex Gen X call to action. We want you to go open up an account, chat.openai.com, use the free version first, do some of the stuff that we've been talking about today, then transition into a paid account and really look at your financial situation and see, okay, how can I use Chat GPT to get me to where I'm trying to go? Right? It might be like, I'm not ready for a financial plan, but I just need to increase my literacy. Well, then use it for that. Once you feel like you're more literate, go to the next step. And you can always reach out to Stu or myself. If you want to set up a discovery session with me, it's controlyourfinances.co. You can set up a discovery session. We can get into more detail about how to use this for your plans and goals and all of that. You can also reach out to Big Stu. Stu, where should they reach out to you, talk about Chat GPT or anything else?
Find me at on Instagram at Professor Stu or scottsteward.com, SCOTTSTEWARD as in David.com. Hit me up. Always got something going on.
All right, you all, we are signing out for now. Money Sex Gen X podcast. Until the next episode.
Peace.